Hey there everybody! So today we're going to take what we've learned so far in this unit and kind of mix it all up. So we're going to have some addition, some subtraction, some multiplication, and some division problems in here. This is just your assignment. I don't have a separate notes page for you, and so I thought I'd work problems 1 through 6 with you. Now if you want to maybe solve them on your own and then just fast forward through this video to check your work, that would be an awesome thing to do. If you want a little bit more support and want to work them along with me, then that is absolutely what you should do. I have a little post-it note here. It's just a review of the most important things when we're solving these inequalities. Remember, if you're left with a greater than or a less than, you're going to use an open dot in your graph. If you're left with a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then you're going to use that closed dot. And then the third thing, if you multiply or divide by a negative, make sure you flip that inequality sign. And we will see examples of all of those things in these first 6 problems. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, in problem number 1 you have negative 133 is greater than 19n. Now we know that these are multiplied together because they're right next to each other, the 19 and the n. So let's undo that multiplication by doing the opposite of multiply, which is to divide by 19. So just like solving an equation, you're going to divide by 19 on both sides. Now you have to be careful when you're multiplying and dividing, because if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the sign. Did we do that here? No, we're dividing by a positive number, so no sign flipping is required. This will cancel out and you're left with negative 133 divided by 19, whatever that is. Negative 7. Okay, so negative 7 goes here. Now don't forget to graph these. Make sure you don't just solve and then go on to the next one. You have to put all of these on the graph. So you're going to put a 0 on your graph, and then negative numbers are going to be to the left of 0. So my negative 7 will go here. And now let's see, open or closed dot. Well, we have one of these guys here, so we're going to need an open dot. That kind of sign, we need an open dot. We're going to put it right there. And now I'm going to read my inequality from the variable. So I'm actually going to read it backwards. I'm going to say n, or the answers, are less than negative 7. The answers are less than negative 7. So where are the smaller numbers? The smaller numbers are off to the left. So my arrow is going to go to the left. Okay, if you'd rather read it the other way, you could say negative 7 is greater than the answers. In other words, negative 7 is bigger than the answers. So make sure that the answers are all smaller than negative 7. All right, let's go on to the next problem. We have negative 7a is less than negative 133. Again, we have multiplication here, so we're going to undo it by using division. We're going to divide by that number, negative 7, and we'll do that on both sides. Now, did we multiply or divide by a negative number here? Yeah, we did. We divided by a negative 7. So I'm going to go ahead and circle this sign as a reminder to me that when I copy it down here, I need to flip it. So this is going to cancel. I'm going to bring down my a. Now I'm going to flip that sign, and now I'm going to use my calculator for this. Negative 133 divided by negative 7 is 19. Oh, look, it's like the other fact family. How funny. So, in other words, we have 19 over here. Okay, so a is greater than 19. So we need to put 19 on our number line here. I'll just put a 0 here, and I'll put a 19 here. It doesn't matter exactly where they go, as long as positive numbers are to the right of 0 and negative numbers are to the left of 0. Okay, so open or closed dot. Well, I have a greater than sign, and we know that greater than sign means open dot. So we'll put an open dot on 19. And now let's figure it out. Instead of reading A, I'm just going to say the word the answers, because there are so many answers that will satisfy these inequalities. So the answers are greater than 19. The answers are bigger than 19, so they must live over here to the right, because that's where the bigger numbers are. So I'll draw my arrow to the right. Okie doke. There's number 2. We've got 4 left. Okay, we have k divided by 14 is less than negative 19. Right now we're dividing, so in order to get rid of that 14, we're going to have to do the opposite, which is to multiply. So I'm going to say times 14 on both sides. This one will cancel. Now, did I multiply or divide by a negative? No, I didn't. There's a negative number here just sitting there, but did I actually divide by a negative number? No, I'm not dividing at all, silly me. I multiplied by a positive number, so I don't have to worry about flipping the sign. So k is less than whatever this equals. Let's figure that out. Negative 19 times 14, negative 266. Okay, so now I need negative 266 on my number line here. I'll put 0 here, and anywhere to the left, you can put your 266, your negative 266. And now let's see, this kind of sign, as we know, needs an open dot. And let's see, k, in other words, the answers, are less than negative 266. So the answers are smaller than 266, and I should draw the arrow to the left where all those smaller numbers live. And then I'm done with that one. Okay, let's do the next three now. Let's do number 4. Negative 13 is less than or equal to negative 6 plus x. We need that x by itself, so we got to get rid of that negative 6. We're going to do the opposite of negative 6, which is plus 6. And make sure we add 6 to both sides. So that's going to go to 0. I'm going to be left with, let's see, negative 13 plus 6, different signs, subtract. I'm going to do negative 7. And then this goes to 0, and I just have x there. So I have negative 7 as less than or equal to x. Let's put negative 7 on the graph. So put a 0 there. Negative 7 can be off to the left, anywhere you want it. Now this time I have the or equal to part of the sign. So that means I need to fill my dot in. Let's do that. All right, filling in the dot. Now I'm going to read backwards. I'm going to read from the variable. So x, or in other words, the answers to this inequality, are bigger than negative 7. X is greater than or equal to negative 7. So that means I need to draw my arrow this way. Okay, you could say negative 7 is smaller than the answers, if that makes more sense to your thinking. Whatever makes more sense to your brain is what I want you to do. Okay, there we go. Let's do number 5. Negative 13 is greater than or equal to x divided by 15. It's a lot like this one, right? We have a division problem. Let's solve it by multiplying. Times 15 on both sides to get rid of this guy. We didn't do anything with a negative number. We just multiplied by 15. Don't worry about that one being negative. It doesn't change anything. Let's figure out what that equals. 15 times negative 13, negative 195. Keep the sign, and then x. All right, let's put that on the graph. Let's put our 0 over here. Negative 195 can go down here. We have or equal to. We have greater than or equal to. So let's fill in our dot. Okay, I'm going to read it backwards again because I want to read from my variable. So x, or in other words, the answers, are less than negative 195. And less than means smaller. Less than means to go this way. If you'd rather say negative 195 is bigger than x, then you can say it that way. As long as your arrow is pointing that way, you're in good shape. Okay, one last one. M plus 3 is greater than 20. So let's get that m by itself by subtracting 3 from both sides, just like we would in an equation. We're going to be left with m is greater than 17. So I'll put my 0 here. 17 is a positive number. I'll put it over here. Is there an or equal to part to this sign? No, there isn't. So that means that we have to do an open dot on 17. And then let's see, m, or the answers, are bigger than 17. They're greater than 17. So let's draw our arrow towards where the bigger numbers live, which is off to the right. All right, and those are my examples for today. If you have questions, let me know. I love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching this video. See you next time. Bye.